Es un buen tipo, mi viejo, que anda solo por el mundo. Tiene la tristeza larga de tanto venir andando. I was born in Mexico, northwest of Mexico, in a tiny town. The full name is Francisco R. Serrano. That was founded by my father and other colleagues there. My dad's name, Serafin Cervantes Camacho, and my mother, Josefina Camacho Zúñiga. They went from central Mexico, the state of Guanajuato, to that place with the hope of getting a piece of land. They didn't have any school. They were working on agriculture only. Since I was 5, I was very motivated to ask questions. And I never had a problem with feeling like lazy to read a book or do something. I always was doing something. After the middle school that I went there, I was lucky that enough to get a scholarship that will pay for my school there. The university was a combination of high school and university altogether. So the university is called Universidad Autónoma Chapingo. And it's called just Chapingo. And in that school, if you don't pass, you're out. So we had to pass. And so we were happy that we finished high school, and then we went into the real university classes after that. My father have told me some really cool stories that he started working since he was 8 because my grandpa died, so he had to support the family. He was pretty in his teens probably when he came with my grandpa and worked in the cotton fields, working as they call him braceros at that time. Then after that he came back in 1970s again, and he worked in the fields in California by Salinas Valley. He retired from there. There was a time where it was easier to come and go. So before 1987, when he got a green card, it was pretty easy to come in illegally. At that time, they needed the workers, so they. So there's been times when looks like they need people. I mean, they here in the United States to work in the fields, and they love them. They love Mexicans. And then when they don't want him anymore, they don't need him, then they kick him out. So in California, I live with people that were my own people. They work on the fields, and I was the most highly educated there. As a matter of fact, nobody was educated there. They were normally like my father. They were working on the field, and they even got me a nickname. They called me El Doctor, because I was always with books and notebooks and writing things and my English dictionary, and nobody there cared about learning anything other than just going to work every day. And they were tired, and I understood. So when I moved to Oregon, there I just had the challenge of working, because I never worked in my life that hard. In the 80s, I came here not because I needed to work or anything, but it's just because I got sick, and I thought, well, I'm going to recover there, get into a diet for a year, and fix myself. That was the purpose. But then I got the green card, and I was going to school to learn the language, and I found that I was very impressed with the schools that they have all the technology that I didn't have down there, and I love technology. So when I saw it, I'm thinking, "Ooh, this is good," and I started going to school. I decided to stay, and then after 2 years, I moved to Oregon because down there everybody spoke Spanish, and I wasn't learning any English. So here the challenge was I had to speak English. So nobody spoke Spanish there in the places that I work for. So that was the challenge. So I felt a little bit terrified sometimes, that I was afraid of making mistakes. If they tell me, well, go do this, and if I do something different, I was really afraid of that. That was a challenge. Obviously, I was learning in a fast pace, accelerating my learning. I call it learning at 100 miles per hour, because you have to. So every day I was with my dictionary, and so I look at different resources to learn. TV was in English, there was no Spanish stations, so everything helped. And in a year I felt comfortable to understand good enough as to go to college. I graduated from Chemekra Community College 1992. Luckily at that time I got a job offer from HP, and that's when I started working with electronics. While working, I went back to school and got a computer science degree and a master in information technology. Maybe Mexico is changing a little bit, but in the old days, kids will be apart, and then adults apart. And I think no, we need to play together so the kids learn from us. I always spend 1 or 2 hours minimum per day with my kids, and I thought that wasn't enough, and it wasn't. If we don't spend the first 7 years at least of their lives, those kids, I think we waste them for life. We need to teach them to everything, not just math, but love. When you hug him, when you show him that you care about him, that's eventually will be harvesting. So if you teach him math and physics, they will be not suffering in university. It'll be a piece of cake for them. You teach him love, they will be loving you back. It's pretty cool to have somebody that you can hug forever. What I found out is that normally kids, because they cry at the beginning, but once they learn, they feel really proud. So my oldest is Hiram Cervantes, and what he does is media. He graduated from OSU, but he's more into technology. It's like, I want to edit this movie and make it really cool. And that's what he does. He has his own company. My daughter Sandy, she's a chemical engineer, and she's working for HP as a researcher. She's into more intellectual, like math, and she loves chemistry. And but she's like me. She's basically my brain on a woman's body. That's why we cannot get together. We're always fighting. It's good to say. So Laili this is the youngest. She's graduated from OSU last year. She's a bioengineer. She's like her mother. She's extremely intelligent in physics and math. She's probably the only one in the three kids that will ask me, "Do you need something?" Oh, I love that. Es que creció con el siglo, con tranvía y tu silencio y tu tiempo